On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, please accept this crystal gavel as a token of our appreciation for your dedication and commitment to the Chamber and for your leadership as our chair in the upcoming year. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2012 Board Chair of the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, Karen Hathaway.
Thank you, Joe. Good evening, Governor Brown, Mayor Villaraigosa, other elected officials, fellow Chamber board members, Chamber members, and guests. I want to thank and salute Joe Chiswick for his tenacious leadership and his commitment to the economic vitality of our region. Let's give him a well-deserved show of appreciation. Thanks also to Gary Tobin, our Chamber CEO, and to every member of the wonderful staff who turn our ideas and goals into meaningful accomplishments. We are also grateful for the hospitality of this beautiful JW Marriott, the embodiment of the resurgence of downtown Los Angeles. Now, how many of you can recall what this area was like 4 decades ago, before the Convention Center opened, before LA Live was ever conceived? Taking a long view of how our city has changed gives us a better appreciation of the progress that we've made and the even greater progress that we can make in the future. I am, perhaps, more conscious of the sweep of Los Angeles history, as Joe mentioned, because my family has been a part of the history longer than most. In the audience tonight is a gentleman who devoted 5 decades to the business and civic communities of Los Angeles, my father, Frank Hathaway. Our family business started in Los Angeles 132 years ago. 124 years ago, my great-great-grandfather, Frank Clarkson Garbett, and a handful of friends gathered in a room not far from here. Together, they founded the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce. Los Angeles had less than 50,000 people back then. But there are a few things that you would recognize. The country was in a recession, unemployment was spiking, real estate was in a slump, and people said they were fed up with California and heading out. The Chamber's founders didn't bemoan their situation. They outfitted a railroad car as a traveling exhibit of agricultural products, and they called it California on Wheels. They sent it through the Midwest. They hoped that farmers would be lured to the Golden State. More than 1 million people saw the Chamber's exhibit, and a good number headed west. That kind of innovative, results-oriented activity has been the hallmark of this Chamber for 124 years. It certainly is what our city needs right now. And it's what your Chamber plans to deliver during 2012 and beyond. Our region and our state face daunting fiscal problems that have triggered cutbacks in vital public services. They've also weakened our public schools and colleges at a time when we desperately need people entering the job market to be better educated. Our commercial ecosystem is out of balance too. Our legislators and our bureaucrats produce a steady stream of piecemeal regulation that rarely consider the big picture, and all too often create needless obstacles to business development and job growth. Last year alone, Sacramento passed over 750 new laws. the resources we devote to keeping up with a regulatory cornucopia and paying involuntary tithes to state and local agencies divert our attention, frustrate our efforts from our core mission, which is to grow our business and to reinvest in our community. The business climate becomes less and less attractive. Some companies leave. Others look at us from afar and decide to locate in other parts of the country. Los Angeles suffers because of this. Imagine if 124 years ago, the Midwestern farmers stepping onto the California on Wheels rail car had been handed a thick book of regulations telling them what they could plant in the Golden State and how and who could work alongside them. Chances are those skilled, self-reliant farmers would have stayed right where they were. We understand the need for some regulations, but this is our home. We are the businesses who have chosen to stay in Los Angeles and who want it to thrive. Our chamber gets this. Our chamber councils are led by smart, thoughtful, creative people. Our meetings are incubators of innovative ideas for solving the problems that affect us all. CEQA reform, pension reform, tax reform, and programs like Cash for College, Home for Good, a state term limits initiative, political strategies to elect business-friendly candidates through our LA Jobs PAC are our stock in trade. And the chamber is the cornerstone of the region's economy. Los Angeles is more than a city, or more than a region. We are a mega city, and we are a key player in the global economy. Recognizing the accelerating pace of change in technology and business methods, the Chamber is looking at Los Angeles in the next economy. For millions of travelers and an endless stream of cargo moving by air, sea, road, and rail, Los Angeles is the gateway between America and the world. Our entertainment industry delivers the tunes that the world sings, the images that shape their aspirations, and the games that unleash their imagination. Our fashion industry decides what they will wear. Our biopharm companies ease their pain and extend their lives. Our technology companies continually create marvels that at first we can barely comprehend, but that quickly become conveniences and then necessities. Imagine if people throughout our region all thought of themselves this way as key participants in the future of our globally important megacity. Imagine if elected officials and regulators prioritize policies that attract and retain business, create jobs, foster innovation, trade, and economic growth. Imagine if protesters on the lawn at City Hall carried picket signs that said, "I demand to contribute to the next economy." To your chamber, the next economy is not a catchphrase or a slogan. It is a reality. That's why our Emerging Commerce Council has set out to identify and promote synergistic clusters of emerging and innovative companies that have the potential for being the next high-growth contributor to the global economy. It's why your chamber has stepped up its role in promoting global trade, and it's why we spend so much time and effort on education. And that is why we will ask elected representatives as well as candidates for office for their commitment to walk with us into the next economy. I have the honor of stepping into a role that my great-great-grandfather began 124 years ago. But in a larger sense, all of us here are carrying on the work of the earlier generations of businessmen and women. Even more important, we are creating a legacy for those who follow us because of the chamber, because of the efforts of each of you, our children and our grandchildren will have a better chance of enjoying a strong, healthy, dynamic, and vibrant Los Angeles. Thank you. Now, we have just one more bit of business before we get to dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Mayor of Los Angeles, the Honorable Antonio Villaraigosa.